Hi, welcome to Movies Reflexed. Today, I am going to explain a horror action movie titled Saw 4. Watch out for spoilers. Take care. At the start of the movie, it is shown that Jigsaw's post-mortem test is being conducted. Because Jigsaw was killed in the last part of the movie, doctors remove different parts of Jigsaw's body. And they find a microcassette in the stomach of Jigsaw. And it is the same microcassette on which Jigsaw had poured wax in the last part of the movie. He put wax to engulf the tape easily. Now, this information is provided to the police officers. Then, Detective Hoffman arrives there. This microcassette is actually for him. Hoffman is compelled to think that Jigsaw's dead body is lying in front of him. In spite of this, he has left a message for him. The message that was left for Hoffman is also another game of Jigsaw. Then, two men are shown who had been entrapped by Jigsaw. The lips of one of them were stitched, while the other one's eyes had been stitched. And it was done so that they may not communicate with each other. There were chains that was set on their necks. And it was connected with the placed machine amid that place. That machine was pulling the chains while twisting it. They had to free themselves before they were dead by being crushed into that machine. And the key of their traps was on the collars of each other. The person with stitched lips, glimpse of his key. But the person with stitched eyes could not see his key. Now, it was clear that only one man may survive. One person has to secure his life, so he takes a step forward to take his key. But getting the key was not an easy task. Killing the other person, he takes the key and releases himself. Now, police officers reach Jigsaw's previous location. There is a senior detective named Rigg. They discover the dead body of Detective Allison there, who had been killed in the last part of the movie. But the dead body was still hanging at that trap. Then two senior detectives, one male and one female, is seen. They both knew Allison as she was their colleague. They both had came here to investigate Jigsaw's case. The male senior detective is wise. He understands this trap does not belong to Jigsaw or Amanda, because they don't make traps of such height. So, it was obvious that there was also someone else who was accompanying them. At the same night, Detective Rigg is attacked by a pig-masked person. He finds himself in the bathtub of his house as he restores his consciousness. The message of Jigsaw is played there, in which he reveals that Rigg is also a part of Jigsaw's game. He is told that he has to rescue the trapped Hoffman and Kerry within 90 minutes even to save himself. Amanda left Kerry to die, who was still alive. After releasing, Jigsaw had imprisoned him there for the last 6 months. Now, Rigg had to pass some of the tests to reach both of them. His first test is conducted in his own house. He notices a seated girl in the chair in his room, wearing a pig mask. This girl has a tape recorder in her hand. And there was a written statement on the wall, "See what I see." Jigsaw's message plays as Rigg proceeds to that girl. It is not the task of Rigg to help that girl, whether the needs it or not, so it is better to leave the girl trapped. It was also the cause because that girl had committed many crimes in her private life. As Jigsaw had already clued him as, "See what I see." Here, Rigg's habit is also exposed as he had a ruling passion to rescue the lives of other people's. Even if he had to get lost in this ruling passion, he will still do it. He comes near that trapped girl. As he unmasks her, that trap is activated. At first sight, that girl's skull begins to detach. Somehow, Rigg saves her life. But that girl attacks Rigg in return. Because Jigsaw had conveyed a message to her through the tape recorder as Rigg is coming to capture her. And she will have to kill Rigg to release herself. But Rigg kills her in order to save his own life. Then, he proceeds to his next test. Contrarily, police officers reach Rigg's house. There, they get many evidences, victims' photos and related files. And it was the work of Jigsaw in order to entrap Rigg. There, they also discover the dead body of that girl who was killed a few times ago. And they think Rigg is also a part of Jigsaw's game. They also meet Jigsaw's ex-wife. And they start inquiring from her. Following the instructions, Rigg reaches a hotel. There, Rigg comes to know through the tape recorder of Jigsaw that hotel's manager is mean. He has committed many crimes in his life, and he also harassed the peoples physically. And there are also crime videos and photos of hotel manager being aggressive. Rigg entraps the manager. And a task is given to the hotel manager that he will have to blind his both eyes in the limited time. But he is only able to destroy one of his eyes in the limited time. As a result, that trap is activated because of crossing the limited time. And his hands and feet are detached from his body, giving him a horrifying death. Jigsaw's wife reveals that Jigsaw was a civil engineer. And he had partnership with a well-known company. She tells she used to serve in a clinic. One day, she was leaving after closing her clinic, and she is with Jigsaw. Then, a thief breaks into the clinic. When that thief begins to escape after robbing, he hits the door with the stomach of Jigsaw's wife. And it causes her interruption of childbirth. And Jigsaw's life takes a turn from that time, and they are separated. And from that time, Jigsaw plays a game on their victims while entrapping the people. While investigating the hotel, detective comes to know that man is registered with the name Art Blank. He was not a stranger, but he was the business partner of Jigsaw. The most surprising fact is that he was also disappeared a few years ago. Now, Rigg visits a school to clear his third test where he had went before. It was the case of a little girl whose father used to mistreat her. But Rigg had no evidence to prove it. Because that girl had given false statements under the pressure of her father. Rigg notices that girl's parents who were connected with each other through the metal spikes. And only one of them may survive between them. Here, Jigsaw also tries to explain Rigg the same thing, save as I save. It means take your way after leaving them in their condition. But instead of following the instructions, Rigg rescues that girl's mother. Senior detective also visits the school for investigation. And in one of the school rooms, they observe the puppet of Jigsaw, Billy. That puppet is exploded while coming near it to check. Consequently, the female detective is wounded. During the investigation, Jigsaw's wife reveals that, being depressed, Jigsaw had stopped working with Art Blank. Jigsaw tries to commit suicide, knowing he has cancer. An accident occurs, but he still remains alive. Right after this, he starts his game of entrapping the people. That senior detective gets the knowledge about a place after collecting the evidences. And it was the last location of Rigg. Then Eric is seen who had been set in standing position on an ice block. Hoffman had also been bounded with Eric. Eric will be hanged if ice melts or he is slipped from there. Moreover, Hoffman will also be dead because of the electric shock. The person who has entrapped them was no one else but Jigsaw's business partner Art Blank. But the surprising fact is this, that Art Blank was not Jigsaw's crime partner, but one of his victims. And he had also a trap on his neck which will cause his death in case of not accomplishing the task. He was waiting for the accomplishment of 90 minutes. Completing 90 minutes, Kerry will save Eric, Hoffman and himself while pressing a trap button. But Eric's connected devices on both sides will be connected if someone opens the door before the assigned time. As a result, his head will be shattered. Hoffman will also be dead along with him. Meanwhile, Rigg also approaches here. And Eric warns him to not open the room's door. Eric fires his gun on Rigg, which was given to him by Art Blank. But Rigg enters the room before completing the left 1 second. He opens that door. As a result, both traps explode after the trap of Eric activating themselves. And his face is shattered. Rigg thinks that Art Blank is responsible for all these doings. So, he fires his gun on him. Then, a tape recorder placed near Art Blank is played. And a message is conveyed to Rigg that he has failed in the final test of Jigsaw. Because his ruling passion to secure people was wrong in some cases. Because it seems risky to save the life of someone in some conditions. Now, it is essential to assure Rigg that he has not been made a helper to everyone. It was the cause that Jigsaw had planned this game for him. Assigning him tasks, Jigsaw wanted to explain to him. But Rigg did not get the lessons from this game. Rather, he has failed the game. Being patient, he could have saved Eric, Hoffman, and he himself. Now, the story takes a crucial turn which is very surprising as Hoffman was still alive. It means Hoffman has been the partner of Jigsaw after Amanda. Hoffman leaves from there, leaving Rigg in the same dying condition. In the end, the starting scene is shown, where the post-mortem test of Jigsaw was being conducted. Because it had been decided before the post-mortem of Jigsaw. The microcassette from Jigsaw was the message for Detective Hoffman only for this reason. That Detective Hoffman will continue the game of Jigsaw. It means this game of Jigsaw should not stop, even after his death. And with it, the movie ends here. If you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for the upcoming uploads. Thank you for watching.